Hi, I'm Nadja, and welcome to our talk, MindPhone, Mindful Reflection and Unlock Can Reduce Absent-Minded Smartphone Use. Together with my colleagues Luke Halliburton, Philipp Greiner, Albrecht Schmidt, Heinrich Hussmann, and Wille Mäkele, we executed the project at the LMU Munich in Germany, as well as the University of Waterloo in Canada. Smartphones have become an essential part of life. They're always with us, widely available, and easily accessible. Smartphones have created many positive effects that are perceived by many people as a blessing. However, other people report the excessive amount of screen time, constant interruptions, or lack of meaning in smartphone interaction to have become a curse. As a result, people increasingly desire to change their smartphone use behavior, whether it be reducing screen time or using their smartphone for the right reasons. Dugas and colleagues address this dualism by differentiating between general and absent-minded smartphone use. Whereas general smartphone use describes the organizational power of smartphones, absent-minded smartphone use, behaviors such as compulsive checking, pointless scrolling, or other phone use without a specific purpose is more closely linked to inattention in daily life. Our aim is to support people in choosing to reduce their absent-minded phone use while empowering them to continue using it as a powerful tool. We present an approach which differs from related work by placing an intervention at the actual moment of smartphone use. This is in line with the concept of in-the-moment awareness related to mindfulness. We take an approach close to Ellen Langer and define mindfulness as focused intention on the present activity with full awareness of the context in which it is happening. This includes awareness about intentions and purpose for a certain present activity. With that in mind, we designed and developed MindPhone, a smartphone app that confronts the user with one of two questions at smartphone unlock. The first question draws upon previous research on meaningful smartphone interaction, as well as research on asking about the intention of using an application or website. In contrast to prior work, the second question revolves around users' intended activity in the real physical world after their smartphone use. We named the two questions intention and activity and phrased them as follows. Why do you want to use your phone right now on the left-hand side? And what activity do you want to do after you finish using your smartphone on the right-hand side on the slide? We also build upon previous works suggesting that writing down thoughts sparks a more profound reflection. Hence, MindPhone offers two reaction modes, passive and active. In passive mode, users mentally contemplate about the intention or activity question answer, whereas in the active mode, users have to write their response in text. Our work is driven by the mindfulness premise of concentrating on the present moment holistically in the digital realm as well as in the physical space surrounding it. As such, we sought to design a solution that sparks in-the-moment reflection and focuses on the whole of the present moment in order for users to be able to evaluate their behavioral patterns up front. At that point, users, and not MindPhone, can autonomously decide to stop behaviors such as absent-minded phone use of developing in the first place. To this end, we set out to investigate the influence of the differences in our approach by the means of the following two questions. First, does reflection prior to smartphone use on the real-world activity or smartphone use goal promote mindful smartphone use patterns? And second, does smartphone use differ based on whether users mentally reflect or write down their reflections prior to smartphone use? We conducted a mixed method study collecting screen time, unlocks, absent-minded smartphone use questionnaire scores or the SIGCHI scores by Dugas and colleagues, and also qualitative feedback in surveys. We set out to send the participants a survey at the beginning of the study, after each condition, and then after MindPhone ended. This spread over 4 weeks, including a 2-week field deployment of MindPhone. We did the study with 28 participants who were assigned in 2 groups based on receiving either the intention or activity question. So we ended up with 15 participants in the intention group and 13 participants in the activity group. We found that the real-world activity question significantly reduces smartphone use while encouraging users to return to the real world. The intention question raises awareness of reasons for smartphone use. Both the active and passive answer modi induce reflection and awareness, but it is highly personally dependent on which of these 2 modes the user preferred. Some participants enjoyed the active writing more, as it added another barrier to smartphone use, which can further aid in taming compulsive phone checking. On the other hand, some participants did not like exactly that. Although quantitative measures of smartphone use increased after stopping the use of MindPhone, participants point to a shift in thinking towards smartphone use. For example, I barely opened my phone for no reason because I didn't want to write my reason into MindPhone. That led to the fact that I used my phone only for useful and reasonable things. Rather than thinking on reducing screen time by solely focusing on the device, our participants reported of being more aware of the real world the device is embedded in. It's nicer that this app motivates you to think outside your phone. I was surprised that I started to reflect more on my daily actions. I can't say if I was more productive or so, but I definitely spent more time outside of my phone. Our overall results show the potential for a non-corrective smartphone intervention at unlock that raises awareness of people's smartphone use as well as their surrounding physical world. In particular, the latter was effective in reducing screen time, number of unlocks, and absent-minded use. People obtained additional benefits in their smartphone use, demonstrated in their statements on experiencing more mindful smartphone use and tucking their phones away to experience the world around them. Thus, we discussed 3 points. First, the potential of including the real physical world in similar smartphone use interventions. Second, the need for personalization of smartphone and broader technology use interventions, such as letting the user decide which mode to use in our case or with what frequency the intervention should act. And finally, we show the need for a change of mind. Instead of smartphone use reduction as end goal, we propose life technology balance. With life technology balance, life and technology live happily together as long as real-life behaviors do not suffer under technology use. Thank you so much for listening.